Did you know that in the year 1913, children were mailed using the postal service as a form of transportation? One of these cases was an 8-month-old who was shipped to his grandmother in Ohio. When I first heard of this, I was shocked. I wondered how anybody could ever think of doing this to their own child. But then it dawned on me that they probably didn't know that what they were doing at the time was wrong. To them, it was probably the easiest and most convenient option. This brings me to my topic of today, laissez-faire parenting. This topic isn't just for me or my generation, but for the people guiding and leading us. So to anyone here who is guiding or leading a young person, I would ask you to pay close attention. Because an easy and convenient option today can turn into a tragedy tomorrow. Now, I want you to imagine that you're on a plane. Buckle up your seatbelts, please. The pilot has no flight path, no protocols, no rules. I mean, I wouldn't want to be on that plane, but here we are. The air controller signals that there's a storm ahead and tells him that he probably shouldn't take off. But he just shrugs and says, "It's my choice, right?" and does it anyway. Next thing you know, boom, the plane crashes. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But isn't this exactly what happens when we raise our children without guidance? Life is a journey, and just like pilots, we need direction. Without it, we're left to make life-altering decisions that often lead to painful consequences. Steve Harvey once said, "Stop trying to be your child's friend. Your job is to be their parent." This quote hits me hard because I've seen a lot of parents confuse love with permissiveness. That's a child right there. They think freedom equals happiness. But is that true? When I was growing up, I had a friend. Her mom was more like her bestie than a parent. Of course, I was envious because my mom was the complete opposite. She ran a tight ship with proper structure. I mean, do your homework every day kind of structure. And I hated it. One of the worst stories I have is one day that same friend came over to my house for a play date. You know, go around, play outside. Before we got to do any of that, my mom sat us down and said, "Do your homework first." I wanted to vanish. I was mortified. I wondered how anyone could think of telling a guest to do their homework. I wanted to go into the ground. Poof, gone. But I couldn't. So the more the years went on, the more I got envious. But what I didn't see was the more it went on, the more my friend started to struggle. She started to fail in school. She didn't know how to manage herself. She lacked boundaries. It got so bad that they had to call her mom in for a parent-teacher conference. When they were telling her mom all of what had happened, her mom started to shout at her, of course. And unfortunately for my friend, she let her feelings get the best of her. Abruptly, she got up and shouted, "What did you expect? Sorry. You were never there." When I and my friend locked eyes, and just like that sound, we realized the doom that was coming, I started to realize what true parenting is. I mean, inspiration comes whenever, right? True parenting isn't just about being present. It's about being involved. The idea of letting your kids figure it out on their own sounds great in theory, but research tells a different story. In the Journal of Child Development, a research came out detailing how parents who raise their children, permissive parents, to do whatever they want, their children often struggle with self regulation problems, leading to behavioral and educational problems too. On the other hand, researchers have also come out detailing how children raised by strict parents often struggle with anger issues, anxiety issues, and also self regulation problems. So, what does this say? It means the key is balance. I came up with a theory that I think explains this quite well. It's called the Wormwood Effect. WORMWOOD. Wormwood Effect. Raise your hand if you've ever watched the popular film called Matilda. Well, if you haven't, don't worry, because I'll tell you a little about it today. Matilda is a girl who has telepathic abilities. But not only that, she's a girl whose parents believe more in fun and chaos than structure. Matilda, thankfully, has self discipline, and she raises herself up to be quite well, despite her own parents even forgetting to put her in school. But she's the exception, not the rule. Because her brother, who isn't like her and follows along the footsteps of his parents, didn't turn out the same way. He didn't value school. He didn't value his education. He watched TV all day and ate junk food all night. And it didn't turn out quite well for him. Let's be honest. Rules aren't fun. And if you let kids do whatever they wanted, they eat cake for breakfast and run wild. But you also have to think of it like a chef giving you all the ingredients and saying, oh, I don't want to impose, figure it out on your own. And the next thing you know, boom, you've burned down the kitchen. So why do we expect children with even less life experiences to figure out this thing called life out? The truth is, parents or guardians who let their children run wild aren't doing them a favor. They are setting them up for failure. This doesn't mean that you should control their every move or that you should let them do whatever they want. Like I said before, the key is balance. Rudolf Dreykus once said, "We cannot protect our children from life. Therefore, it is our jobs to prepare them for it." This quote means to me that you should help them, guide them, and listen to them. So, to anyone here who is raising, leading, or guiding a young person, I want you to ask yourself, are you raising a pilot that can wade the storm? And to anyone who was just like me and wanted complete and utter freedom, I also want you to ask yourself, would you rather have a responsible guide or be left to crash on your own? Because a little discipline today can save us from a huge disaster tomorrow. Thank you.